Hello all, let's get started here. Rakshith, over to you.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing good and happy weekend to start with. So, my name is Rakshith, and I'm basically from Bangalore. Just a brief introduction of myself is I just finished my master's, the second master's in artificial intelligence and robotics from the University of Hertfordshire, London. And today I'll be presenting the topic on webinar on Palm 2. So today we'll be going through the topics. So this is the table of contents. So first we'll look into the overview of the model. Then next we'll jump into what makes Palm 2 better than its predecessor, and the key features of Palm 2, how Palm 2 was built, the comprehensive comparison of Palm 2 and GPT-4, applications of Palm 2, and how to use Google's Palm 2 effectively. So what exactly is Palm 2? So Palm 2 is basically it is built on the groundbreaking history of machine learning and AI. So basically it can perform the tasks to its design, which includes compute optimal scaling and improved dataset mixture, model architecture enhancement, and it also has a capacity to downstream users in research and in product applications, potential risks and bias, and also have been carefully considered. So additionally, it is utilized in other state-of-art models such as SecPalm and MedPalm. So SecPalm is basically educated on the cybersecurity data, and MedPalm is trained on the health data. And Google has also been tailored Palm 2 for a particular company activities. So this is a short video on what Palm 2 is.
PaLM 2 is Google's large language model, LLM, which is the underlying technology behind our generative AI. It's the intelligence that powers many of the features you see in products like Generative AI Studio and Google Workspace. PaLM 2 was trained on datasets and excels at advanced reasoning, multilingual translation, and coding capabilities. You can use it for simple tasks, like summarizing long emails into a few sentences, all the way to complex ones like writing code. These smaller models allow us to serve PaLM 2 to users across the globe through our products. PaLM 2 is constantly evolving, and soon will do even more complex tasks. Watch this space.
So what exactly makes Palm 2 better than its predecessor? So Google recently came up with this language model, Pathway Language Model 2, which is the higher version of Palm. So significantly, it is superior than Boom or Lambda model, where it frequently careless errors on reported false information. So here are few ways where BART can simplify your life using Palm 2. So the few ways are like better interface, personalized learning, task automation, and idea generation. So what exactly the better user interface means? So basically, BART can improve the naturalness and the usability of devices like voice-activated assistants, where it can provide you with more insightful and enjoyable responses. Personalized learning, it can design courses especially for you based on your interests. So basically, if I'm interested, if I want to get an information or a course on my interest, so if I say sports, badminton, so it can design course especially with that particular interest. Task automation, so it is capable of managing high-end jobs, so tedious jobs like customer care or data entry, so which implies that you will have more time to concentrate on the strategic and creative aspects of your work. Idea generation, where the BARD is also capable of coming up with fresh concepts for things like advertising, digital marketing, goods, campaigns, and scientific discoveries. So some of the key features of Palm 2. So I have taken four key features. So there are a lot more features for Palm 2. So four key features is multilingual, reasoning, coding, and efficiency and cost effectiveness. So what in general terms multilingual, the basic meaning of multilingual is like knowing one or more languages. So basically the palm 2 is trained on a large text and code dataset in over like 100 languages. So wherein palm 2's multilingual ability enables to comprehend idioms, complex writings, poetries, riddles, variety of languages, going beyond simple literal reading and appreciating the figurative meaning concealed beneath the words. And next, coming to reasoning. So reasoning is the ability. The basic meaning of reasoning is ability to think. So it has the palm 2 has a remarkable thinking power. So according to Google's testing, so each and every model, once the Google develops, it is tested with various scenarios. So once when the palm 2 is tested, so palm 2 performed better in reasoning tests, including the drop, strategic QA, CSQA, and Vinogrande. So palm 2 can also perform mathematical operation, logic operations, common sense thinking with efficiency because of this training. Coding. So palm 2's capacity for coding is derived from pre-training on substantial number of publicly available source codes and data sets. So publicly available is it can be from the Medium, Stack Overflow, from any source. So wherein as a result, palm 2 produces specialized code in languages like Fortran, Verilog, etc., and performs especially which in the programming languages which is very widely used, which is Python and JavaScript. Efficiency and cost effectiveness. It is worthy that palm 2 offers greater speed and efficiency. So if the speed or the effectiveness is less, the time taken for that to perform will be high. So, but in palm 2, the speed and the efficiency is higher, where it helps in reducing the serving costs. The outstanding capabilities of this AI language model are further highlighted by the balance between cost effectiveness and high level performance.
Rakshith. So, a lot of us are hearing about GPT 3.5, GPT 4, right? And also the new LLM from Google, the Bard, chatbot. So, in your research, did you find or understand the difference between palm 2 versus the new Google Bard model, or versus GPT 3.5 or GPT 4? Any thoughts
Yes,
there?
yes, Vivek. In coming slides, I have the comparison of palm 2 and GPT-4.
Got it. And what about Bard? Because from Google, you had palm 2, which precedes the new Bard model. What's the difference between Bard and palm 2?
palm 2 basically, with the features itself, we'll know that it helps in it helps in training the large data sets in multilingual languages. Whereas in Bard, it's not like multilingual, and also reasoning wise, palm 2 gives more effectiveness when compared to Bard.
Now, today, if I am an LLM developer or an application creator, and if I have to use the Google LLM, will I be using palm 2 or will I be using Google Bard?
When it goes to when we check on efficiency and cost effectiveness, so we go to palm 2.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So now we'll see like how palm 2 was built. So basically, it was constructed on 540 billion parameters, which is built on a dense decoder only transformer model, which is intended to streamline the distributed computation for accelerators. So basically, this method is significantly improved scale by enabling the training of a single model over several TPU version 4 pods. So PaLM2 proved to be a very strong model, which helps in demonstrating the remarkable performance in a variety of challenging tasks, such as coding, reasoning, and language prediction. It also performed better than previous big models over nearly like 29 natural language processing tasks in English, which has been evaluated on. So like it can be questions or sentence completion or in context reading, comprehension. So any of these tasks, the given in the tests to check the PaLM2 performed exceptionally well. So even though just 22% of the training corpus was non-English, PaLM2 showed an impressive performance of a multilingual NLP benchmarks. Interestingly, PaLM2's performance trajectory exhibited a long linear behavior to a previous models, suggesting that the scale-related performance and improvements haven't yet hit a situation point. So through the use of this compute optimal scaling, a method that scales the processing power and the size of the dataset simultaneously, PaLM2 managed to provide an excellent performance without sacrificing the portability, wherein as a result, it performed better all over than its predecessors. Additionally, PaLM2 got specialized training designed to diffuse potentially harmful or violent situations on courage, constructive dialogues. So basically the novel strategy of PaLM2 entails actively steering or rerouting the discussions in the most positive areas. So the efficacy of these features can be assessed, or it will be assessed as it is incorporated in Google's test chatbot, which is Bard. So here I have taken a comparison of PaLM2 and GPT-4. So in PaLM2, the training data size, if we see, the training data size of PaLM2 is much higher than the GPT-4. The model size also has a higher space when compared to the GPT-4. So the language adaptability as well. As we saw in the features, the language adaptability, which is multilingual. Contextual understanding. It can understand the context of the sentence and generate relevant text. So for example, when I go to ChatGPT and type, let's say I type interview questions like, tell me about yourself. So the GPT-4 generally tells about the GPT-4 without knowing the context of what I am asking. But in PaLM2, it can understand the context and give the answer of what I have written and what I have asked. So there are few more features. I have a document of explanation which I have made ready. So I'll be sharing with in the group of the that document I have prepared as well. So the other features are like the performance, the application scope. So basically in PaLM2, the broad application spectrum, including the machine translation, text summarization, question answering, creative writing, has a potential to improve computer interactions, wherein GPT-4, the wide application include machine translation, text summarization, question answers, and creative writing. But Bard with PaLM2 has the better capabilities with only using the GPT-4. And also with the image processing, it describes the PaLM2 can describe images by giving a URL to the image. But in GPT-4, it lacks image processing capabilities.
Folks, any questions so far? Feel free to speak up. Don't hesitate.
A quick question on this. When you say it understands the context, can it retain the context across conversation in terms of conversations which would do context switching. So, for example, I am chatting about my let's say regarding the credit card, and then I switch over to, let's say, my retail bank and come back to a conversation on credit card. So can it retain the context across these two conversations in a continuity, or that's not possible right now?
When it comes to the personal and the credit card, with respect to the card details, the sec palm2 plays a very important role in this. So this is where the sec palm2 comes in place with the threat analysis and stuff. So with the context thing, yeah, the general information, yes, it can retain, but the personal information, it won't.
Okay.
So Rakshith, is PaLM2 the LLM and Bard the chatbot, and PaLM2 is the LLM powering Bard chatbot, or they are all different chatbots themselves? I think PaLM2 is just an LLM. It's not a chatbot, right?
It's not a chatbot, but it can provide the response based on what context we give.
Right. So does it maintain? So it is not a chatbot, to answer the question from the audience. So it's not a chatbot. So there is no, the idea of retaining context seems irrelevant, because it's just an LLM model which you can build applications on, I believe, right? So
Yeah.
Bard is the chatbot. So Bard is the one which could maintain context, very similar
Yeah.
to ChatGPT.
Yes. Bard using PaLM2 acts as a GPT-4 when we use Bard with respect to PaLM2.
Got it. So PaLM2 is more like GPT, whereas Bard is more like ChatGPT. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
And to add to it, what I have understood, so far I have explored PaLM. It is able to retain the context. It has those features. So it's how you program it, how you set the pipelines to set the context in your, application. More like if I design a chatbot where I want to program it to retain the context. So PaLM provides that feature. It's how we use it.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So now coming to the applications of PaLM2. So the applications are widely used in mid-PaLM, which I mentioned earlier in the healthcare sector. SIG-PaLM, which helps in bolstering the cybersecurity, the language translation, code generation, reasoning, and comprehensive Q&A. So in mid-PaLM, it enhances the medical diagnostic and research. So it is basically subdivided into two. One is the medical diagnosis enhancement, and the second one is the drug discovery. So in medical diagnosis enhancement, what it does is it can analyze complex medical data, including the patient's history, symptoms, and test results to assist healthcare professionals in accurate disease diagnosis. Wherein in drug discovery, it can analyze intricate molecular structures, which predicts the potential drug interactions and propose a novel drug to the candidates. In SecPalm2, it helps in bolstering cybersecurity, wherein it has two sub parts, which helps in threat analysis, and the second one will be anomaly detection. Threat analysis, it can process and analyze the vast cybersecurity data, which includes the network logs and the incident reports. So basically, by identifying the hidden patterns and the potential threats, PaLM2 can enhance overall threat detection and mitigation process, which helps in security. Is there anything to ask?
Yeah, you can speak your questions or put them in chat. If you put it in chat, I'll speak them out, or you can choose to speak up your questions. Let's ask a lot of questions.
Okay. As I was saying, someone's mic is on.
Kindly go on mute unless you have a question to ask.
I think Jana is trying to speak, but some problem looks like. Yeah.
So, Sapradev, you can put your question in chat if there is an audio problem. Okay, Rakshith, continue.
Yeah. So in threat analysis, as I was saying, PaLM2 can enhance the overall threat detection and mitigation process, which helps in helping in security experts respond to more effective and emergency risks. In anomaly detection, PaLM2's probabilistic modeling capabilities get harnessed for anomaly detection. It can aid in early detection of the security breaches, which helps in reducing the potential damage and data loss. Language translation, which helps in breaking down the language barriers. So as we know, PaLM2 is multilingual. In this, we have the sub point is we have the high quality translation. So we as a user think like any translation, it can be audio or video. It has to be high quality. It has to be translated in a high quality. So PaLM2 helps in sophisticated language comprehension and generation abilities in language translation. It can also understand the nuances of different languages, including idiomatic expressions and cultural context, which results in more accurate contextually relevant translation, fostering effective communication across the language barriers. So the next application is code generation, which helps in boosting software development. So when it comes to coding, the coding we think when it comes to code, we think of two things. One is the efficient code. One is what after we code, what how can the bugs be detected. So in this, we have two subpoints. One is the efficient code creations and bug detection. So in efficient code creation, PaLM2 proves to be a valuable tool for developers. It can understand the programming languages and generate code snippets based on the specific requirements. It also expedites the software development process, which enables developers to focus on high-level tasks while PaLM2 handles routine coding tasks. In bug detection, it can analyze the capability to extend to bug detection, scrutinizing the code of potential vulnerabilities, coding errors, and insufficient practices assists developers in creating more reliable and secure software. It provides actionable suggestions for code improvements, which also helps in enhancing overall quality of the code base.
Rakshith, Shruti here. I just have a question. So I just would like to understand about the security aspect in PaLM. Are you aware what is different from GPT or Llama 2 in PaLM 2 that enhances its security? Because I've heard that PaLM 2 has better security than both. That's my first question. And the second question is on basically on all. As you can see, these are domain specific PaLM 2 models, right? So we have various parameters to link. Do we have a framework that can link these different models, or are they very specific to their own use case and they cannot be interconnected with other use cases? For example, med along with security, along with code generation would be an ideal need for setting up the end-to-end, right? So is that possible here? Is there a framework on top of that, like how LangChain provides? How does it work? These are my two questions.
Okay. The code generation wise, yes, it can provide end-to-end. But the framework wise, when I have to dig in and do some in-depth research on that. So I'll get back to that.
Can I help there?
Yeah, sure.
There is no framework as a part of the Google ecosystem as of now, and they are also promoting this works with LangChain seamlessly. So Vertex AI, PaLM, because PaLM is a part of Vertex AI overall as an offering. So yes, they are also encouraging the developers to go for using LangChain.
Oh, okay.
To answer the framework question, yeah.
Okay, and for embeddings, they are using matching or how is
Matching
it?
engine, yes.
Matching.
So Rakshith, I got some elementary questions. So on previous slide, you mentioned the size of models ChatGPT-4 versus PaLM 2, and looks like size is almost double of PaLM 2. So why it is so big, and what is the advantage?
Okay. Quite a good question, actually.
Is it just
Sorry,
because data or something?
what was the question again? I missed that.
Yeah, the question is that PaLM 2 model size is 700 GB and ChatGPT-4 is 350 GB. So just wanted to understand why size is more. Is it just because it is using more data in background, or more code or something? What it is? What makes it bigger? And what is the advantage of having it bigger?
So I haven't done much of research, but according to what I have studied, it basically goes on. One thing is the compute optimal scaling, and it also goes on the improved data set of mix. Training the data sets in multilingual languages.
Rakshit, I just have a quick answer to that as well. So it's more like the GPT-4 was trained on 700 billion models, whereas your PaLM 2 is trained on 1.3 trillion model parameters. Sorry, not models, parameters. So that is the variation of size. So the size varies based on the parameters and the amount of features that have been taken into consideration while training.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sati. Thanks.
The problem with this whole LLM word is every week the benchmark changes, right? So next week, some new announcement will be made by big tech and there'll be a new leader board going on. So it's very hard to say what is state of the art today. It kind of changes every week because there's a race for between these companies to outdo each other every week and sort of capture the Gen AI market share. But clearly, OpenAI has captured the mind share of the word, but with GPT and Chat GPT. But now Google is trying to play catch up and trying to launch better models. But it's really a moving leaderboard. So it depends on which day you look at the leaderboard, it could have changed. So it's very hard to say which one is better, actually. It depends on the day you ask.
Yeah, true. And I think there's a lot of thing going on the benchmark as well. Like what should be the exact benchmark that we have to consider? Even a lot of research is going on in that area, I believe.
Yeah, that was my another worry, that these things are changing so quickly. How much we can trust today this one, and if something coming tomorrow, then we might be saying, oh, we might have done wrong decision
See, the
15
thing
days
is,
back.
we as application developers have to just stick to best of breed as of what we know today. So today, if by default we like to use GPT, right? So that is sort of the leading of the pack. But if we are a big Google shop, by all means, we may stick to the Google stack, right? So it really depends. If we are an Azure or AWS stack, we may go with GPT. But if you are a Google stack company, we may go with Google Tech. It will easily integrate. So, there's a huge gap between these LLM innovations and business adoption of generative AI. So when you go to businesses, most of the global businesses even haven't heard of ChatGPT word. So, so we as Cellstrat are trying to bridge this gap with our Imagine GPT business application layer, and we are using Llama 2 open source leader, or at one point it was the open source leader, and GPT 3.5 So, but we don't care what is the today's leader, because that is a moving target. We can't keep pace with it. As long as we can solve our customers' problem, we are good.
Yeah, got it. Vivek. Thank you.
Okay. The next application, I was in code generation. So the next application is reasoning, which helps in strengthening the complex decision-making capabilities. In that, we have two sub-points. One is the expert decision support and the scenario analysis. In expert decision support, sorry, PaLM2 serves as an expert support system where it can analyze large data sets, helps in assessing the complex variables, and also provides comprehensive insights. It assists expert in making informed choices based on the analysis and logical reasoning. Wherein in scenario analysis, PaLM2 helps in probabilistic reasoning capabilities. It also helps in considering different possibility outcomes and their associated probability aids in strategic planning and risk assessments. Comprehensive Q&A, which helps in knowledge sharing and learning. Uh, the knowledge dissemination is where the PaLM2's ability to understand the context and provides relevant answers invaluable for knowledge sharing platforms, which also helps in responding accurately to the user queries on various topics. Whereas the another uh, point in comprehensive Q&A is educational tools, which can integrate into the interactive learning tools in education, which helps in reasoning and learning capabilities, allowing to adapt to individual learners who needs offering with tailored explanations, exercises, and feedback. So with PaLM2, I have a small video of how it is used using PaLM2.
Imagine a world where artificial intelligence could assist doctors in diagnosing diseases, planning treatments, and improving patient care. Recent advancements in large language models, or LLMs, have made this vision a reality. Welcome to the world of AI Physician. In this episode, we'll be exploring a groundbreaking research by Google on the intersection of artificial intelligence and language models for medical diagnostics. Google's Health AI team has been working on a cutting-edge research project called MedPaLM, which stands for Medical Predictive Analysis using Language Models. MedPaLM 2 combines AI and language models to analyze vast amounts of medical data and provide accurate predictions for various conditions and diseases. MedPaLM 2 consistently performs at an expert doctor level on medical exam questions, scoring an impressive 85%. This is an 18% improvement from its previous version, MedPaLM, and outperforms other AI models in the field. Google is also collaborating with organizations such as Jacaranda Health in Kenya and Changgung Memorial Hospital in Taiwan to explore the use of AI in ultrasound imaging. In low-resource areas with a shortage of ultrasound specialists, AI-assisted ultrasound can simplify image acquisition and interpretation, helping identify important information such as gestational age in expecting mothers and early detection of breast cancer. But Google's impact goes beyond diagnostics. They've been working with Mayo Clinic over the past 3 years to explore how AI can support the planning process for radiotherapy, a common cancer treatment. The contouring step, which is labor-intensive and time-consuming, can take up to 7 hours for a single patient. Google's radiotherapy model has the potential to significantly reduce this time and help more patients receive treatment sooner. Google is also committed to addressing global health challenges, such as tuberculosis, a leading cause of death worldwide, particularly in Africa. They have partnered with Right to Care, an AI-based organization, to make AI-powered TB screenings widely available across sub-Saharan Africa. This partnership aims to donate 100,000 free AI-powered TB screenings to aid in early detection and treatment and reduce the spread of this deadly disease. These collaborations and research efforts highlight the potential of AI to augment diagnostic and treatment planning processes in healthcare, particularly in underserved communities, with a focus on safety, equity, and patient well-being. Google is dedicated to working with partners in the global medical community to continue improving and validating their AI models for real-world applications in healthcare. Join us in revolutionizing healthcare with AI together. We can make a difference in the lives of patients around the world. Of course, there are challenges in developing and implementing AI and LM in medical diagnostics, such as data privacy, ethical considerations, and regulatory compliance. However, the potential of MedPalm to revolutionize medical diagnostics is immense, with further research and development. Google hopes to see it being used widely in clinical settings to benefit patients worldwide. And that's a wrap on our episode today. Thank you for joining us on AI Physician. We hope you're as excited as we are about the groundbreaking research by Google on AI, LLM, for medical diagnostics, including its applications in TB screening and ultrasound-based diagnostics. Stay tuned for more fascinating insights into the world of healthcare. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.
I hope this video was a little beneficial.
Yeah, it's a bit scary while exciting as well.
Yeah,
Looks like Google is going to take over medical industry as well. Google or some of these big guys. Yeah.
yeah.
So hi, this is Kaushik here. Just had a quick question. As I understand, actually, MedPalm 2 is available not to the general public, but only to a closed group.
Yeah.
Any idea when it will be available for the general public?
No, general public, no idea. Hello.
Okay.
I have another question. So from the leaderboard, how to understand the which LLMs is good, because there are a lot of parameters comes up. So can you help us to show or basically how to get the meaning from the leaderboards?
This question might be a practical scenario, I guess, which you're asking.
No, in general, let's say in Hugging Face leaderboard, whatever comes up, or maybe if you need any help, I can share the screen to refer some of these things that, because in any of the LLM page in the web interface or most of the interface, most of the performance metrics, everything is available. But there are a lot of things there. So how to understand those, or maybe if you have anything to share from there. You can take it at the end if you
Sure, yeah.
refer to something. Yeah.
Okay.
See, open source leaderboard, the main one we have been referring to is this Hugging Face one, which I just shared. But this changes almost every day. So if we are developing applications for our customers or our employer, so our suggestion is to go with a well-known best of breed LLM. So if you are okay with less privacy and sending data to OpenAI, then GPT 3.5 and 4 are still considered state of the art, because OpenAI somehow has captured the mind share. Even though Google Bard may be better or Palm 2 may be better. If you want privacy control, where you want to keep the data in-house in a private cloud, your customer private cloud, then Llama 2 seems to be leading the charts with all the startups, right? So if you are a Google stack company, then exploring Palm 2 and Bard makes sense. So, I mean, in Selstrat, at least we just go by general perception. We don't go by the leaderboard, which anyway changes almost every single day. I hope that helps answer the question which was asked, to understand how to read the leaderboard.
Yeah. Got it. And there is another the LangChain and Vertex. So what are these? Basically, these are the frameworks to access these LLMs.
Rakshi, you want to answer that?
Can you repeat? Sorry,
This
didn't get your name.
Vertex AI and LangChain. So what are these actually?
These are the frameworks.
Okay.
I mean, LangChain, Llama Index, Vertex, SageMaker, these are overarching, architectures for workflow and LLM application workflows. So inevitably, you'll end up using one of these, like either LangChain or Llama Index or Vertex AI or SageMaker or Azure ML Stack. So you use it will help you to use some of these frameworks. LangChain is really popular for creating a workflow for LLM apps. Yeah, LangChain I think is most popular so far as a workflow for LLM apps.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Rakshith, back to you.
Yeah. Okay. So last we'll see like how to use PaLM2 effectively. So there are a few ways. One is the filter option, refining the option, sort by option, related topics feature, and do more features. So these are the points how we can use PaLM2 effectively. So filter option is basically it in Google PaLM2. It is powerfully designed to streamline your search results. So when this function allows you to narrow down the results on a basic based on specific criteria like such as date, type, or relevance. By honoring your results, the filter option can save your time and effort, making it much easier to find the most relevant and helpful content of your research or a project. Refine by option. So when you have a specific topic or area of interest, so you can refine. That is, refine. The basic meaning of refine we can give is like filtering. So it allows you to focus your search on certain subjects, as mentioned, the area of interest, keywords, themes, giving you a more precise and a targeted set of results, where this can make your research more efficient, helping you to locate a specific information or sources quickly and easily. So the third one is sort by option. It helps us to ensure staying current with latest developments, where this feature basically helps in organizing your search results by the relevance. So like ensuring that you are always getting the most updated and pertinent information. So it can also help you to stay ahead of curve by keeping you informed about the newest trends, news, so what's happening in and around the world, finding related topics, and so on. And yeah, next coming to related topic feature. So it provides a suggestion for a content that is related to your search. So like for example, if you say what is, there are few suggestions which can come across what you have typed as what is. So giving you that wider perspective, you can choose the topic of what you are researching on or finding on. So this can enhance your research by helping you discover new angles, viewpoints, or subtopics that you may not have considered initially. Do more features. So this feature can enhance your user experience, providing additional functionalities such as it can be highlighting a key point or summarizing complex documents. So let's say you have a 400-page document and you need to summarize to 200 pages. So this can help. And the further reading or suggesting the further research. So this basically allows for a deeper understanding of the research topic, which helps in facilitating more comprehensive exploration on the subject matter. So by this, the theory part of PaLM 2 comes to an end. So the practical part of the PaLM 2 will be taken by Gouthaman and Asokan. And these are the references of 2 videos which I have used. And this book is really gave me a nice insight of PaLM 2 features, how it is used, and so on. So I'll be sharing this PPT. So this link will be there, and you can find this PDF online. Thank you for your time. Thank you for hearing me out. Sorry if I have bored you. So if you have any question and answers, you can questions you can ask.
Thanks, Rakshith. It was interesting. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
So, Rakshith, it was great. Not at all bored. A very good insight and good work. Any questions for Rakshith before we switch to the hands-on part of this webinar by Gouthaman and Asokan?
Yeah, regarding explainability, I have one question is that this large language usually now people or community try to understand how these LLMs works inside, or what are the multiple phases that give some predictions at the last, because all of seems as a black box. So people tend to know more what is happening inside. So 2 tools, one is Shape and some another tool. So these tools gives us the explainability part. So question is that within the neural network or inside of any of these nodes of the layers, why changing some hyperparameter or tuning those hyperparameters have a diverse or great difference in the results. Like if I change some beta value, some epsilon value, or 1 or 2 bias terms, have a large variations in the output of why it happens, or can you give some thoughts on that? Changing 1 or 2 hyperparameters or 1 or 2 iterations have a large variations in the output.
Okay.
Is the question clear, or can I make it once again?
A little brief question would be great.
Yeah, this question is the data set is same.
Uh,
Now, within the network, within the neural network, or within the entire model part, we are changing some of the hyperparameters during training time, right?
Yeah.
So within the training time, we are changing some all of these bias, number of nodes, number of iterations, epochs, many more things.
Yeah.
So question is that why changing 1 or 2 values, or maybe few more iterations have a great deviations in the results? Like usually if you see the graph of GPT, GPT-3, GPT 3.5, you will see that maybe up to 500 billion parameters, 200 billion parameter, or for a many large number of parameters, there is no much deviation. But after a certain threshold, after a certain number of parameters, then the graph has a diverse spectrum. Like it is going very top, others are at the bottom of the x-axis, like that.
So basically, when we change the hyperparameters, there is a reduce in the variance. So let's say, for example, when you take neural networks, as you said, so in k nearest neighbors, so when you control the variance of the algorithm, so when you take k is equal to 1, it results in high variance. So whereas when you take the larger value for k, so k is equal to 21 or a number, it results in low variance. Yeah.
I mean, this whole concept of parameter tuning is a big topic. I mean, there's so many hundreds of parameters which can make the difference altogether. So it's very hard to explain that. It's really hit and trial or experimentation, I would say, to arrive at the optimum results on test data set. The explainability of AI is still work in progress. But yes, some parameter tuning can vastly change the output. Absolutely. The reasons are not so obvious. Anybody else wants to compliment?
Yes, Vivek, Shruti here. So it mostly depends on back propagation during neural network, and it is mostly on adjusting weights of the parameters. So when you see one or two iterations may not change a large number of parameter weights during back propagation, whereas an iterative epoch or a continuous back propagation up to a particular threshold can lead to a bigger change, because a large number of parameter weights would be impacted based on the relevance, based on the PPOs and other reward points that you're trying to assign to those words. So these kind of things lead to improvisation or
Okay.
parameter tuning.
So that means, are you saying that the weight matrix, bias matrix gets changed every time when we change some small epsilon value, beta value, alpha values, and that's why during the matrix
It
multiplication?
gets changed, and it totally depends on what is the range of change. It can be very, very minimal, 0.0001 to around 1.05, which can be a bit impactful. So, yeah.
Okay, so as these values get changed, so the matrix gets changed, and ultimately the multiplication
But again,
result.
that also can be controlled to what amount of neural. As you know, there can be a lot of layers. So it can be only the first level of layer that you're trying to change the bias on, not on the entire neural network. So, how many layers are you trying to control? How many dropouts are you doing? A lot of again, it's hyperparameter tuning, right? All of those parameters as well come into picture.
So in interest of time, I request we go to code demo, so we can have this discussion offline. Thanks, Rakshith, for excellent theoretical presentation. Lots of concepts covered. Now we invite Gouthaman to do the project demo. Gouthaman, are you ready?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Feel free to share your screen.
Yeah, I'll present it now.
Yeah, yeah. So folks, Gouthaman Asokan is one of our AI lab team leads who have been collaborating with CellStrat for the last many years. He's a senior data scientist in a private company. He also made our course, he made our multiple advanced AI courses. So Gouthaman, are you ready? Your screen is not shared yet.
I seem to have little audio issues, so just tell me.
Audio is we can hear. Yeah, now your screen is coming up.
So I will just tell briefly what is the architecture about.
Sure. Just maximize your screen. Function F11 will do it, or just increase the, yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Just go ahead.
Yeah. So path-based language model, how it works is basically it seems to have the first part. They have this forward and backward computation, and there is the second part which is the operator state. So these two things they separate it out as two different parts, and they make the computation, and they make this with features. So this algorithm is what makes it very distinctive from the other large language models. Here. So this is the.
What are you showing here? Is this a PaLM2 training environment? What is this?
Yeah, this is the path-based language. How it is being set up. So
Gouthaman, your voice is breaking up in between. Somehow the voice is breaking up periodically.
Okay.
Is it just me, or others are also hearing the voice break?
Yes, Vivek, we are facing the
Same
same
here.
issue.
Yeah.
Let me try with other network, probably.
So meanwhile, so if you have any questions about CellStrat or Imagine GPT, our upcoming LLM platform, you can ask me now while Gouthaman is getting set up. So those who joined later, I am Vivek. I am the co-founder and chief data scientist with CellStrat. We are an AI company, US-based AI company with the team in India though. And we are developing a next generation LLM applications platform called Imagine GPT. So we are inviting, expert Gen AI scientists and developers to collaborate with us for our moonshot product innovation. So reach out to me if you're interested to assist us or collaborate with us. We also have a fantastic community. Some of them you are seeing here, and we conduct webinars almost every Saturday by our community, presenters. On our YouTube channel, you'll find more than 400 AI webinars presented over the last 5 years. So we have been doing AI research long before ChatGPT made it the buzzword. So Gen AI is really exciting and is just the beginning of a decade-long AI revolution. So we all are on the good side of the table, and we are all going to be able to disrupt the world together. Gouthaman, are you ready?
Yeah, I have connected to a different network.
Yes, it's better now. Go for it.
So this is the pathways language model. So basically, data parallelism. It takes two different paths. One for the forward and backward gradient computation, and the second is for the optimizer update. So this is the main difference it has with the previous LLM. So I just wanted to briefly touch upon this. As well, using this PaLM API. PaLM API, everyone needs to be requesting with the help of MakerSuite. So Google AI has this MakerSuite, and in MakerSuite you have this PaLM API, and we need to be, once we get a request, give a request, it usually get within a day. So this is the API that we'll be using for the code purposes. So different codes. The first is the auto completion code, where we have a set of questions, and we will be trying to see how do we auto complete those different texts. So that is the first code. The second code is the PDF extraction. So in the PDF extraction, we will be extracting in a vector database and using that for the question and answering. So this is the two different codes that we will be using. So the first thing, the PaLM 2 auto completion. So here, if you see, it's a generative AI. We are installing it, and we are using the PaLM API key. And then we will be using what are the listing the models, what is available in PaLM models. So here, if you see, generating the text, the particular model that we'll be using is this text bison 001. So this is the model with respect to PaLM, and this is what we'll be using. And PaLM 2 has different models from tiny, small, medium to a large language model, and each of them it has been given a very distinct name. So then otter, bison, and unicorn. So these are the different model names that they have given based on the model sizes, and what we will be using is the bison model. We have the prompt where we ask the question and we think. So we are using the bison model.
This is the So you are talking about a sentence completion application, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So generating the text, the model that we have, what is the prompt that we? So we don't want. So the temperature lets you have the creativity. Otherwise, the auto completion would happen with the most probable word. So when you want more and more creativity, you tend to increase the temperature. So that is the temperature parameter. Here we don't need it, so we make it as tokens. So the auto completion, how many tokens we need respectively. In this particular example, 800 is the token size that we have kept. And the question that I have asked is, so what I basically did this auto completion versus the PDF extraction. So how these so here I have asked few questions on the tax regimes that is available in India. And the PDF extraction, what I did is I had a bunch of PDFs on those tax regimes, and I have used that for the question and answering. So and the PDF extraction mode. So here I have asked what is the difference between the old and new tax regimes in India. So it's trying to explain how what the old tax regime is and what the new tax regime is and how both are different. Some data discrepancy in its answering. So here, if you see the old tax regime, it's telling it's from 5 to 30%, while the new tax regime, it's telling from 5 to 37%, which is not correct. And also, it tells there are 7 tax slabs in 4 in the new tax.
I just have
Yeah.
a doubt.
Yeah.
So, what is the sequence length, maximum sequence length for this? I mean, just because I think you're giving the PDFs, right?
Yeah. No. So this is the auto completion. I'll be next going to the maximum tokens.
But what is the sequence length?
Yeah. Sequence length. What is the maximum that we can give is something in thousands, I think. We can check it out.
Okay. Not the response. I was asking the input sequence length.
Okay. Here you are telling.
Yeah. The sequence token length. Yeah.
Okay. Sequence token length. Yeah. We can be seeing in this PaLM generate text how much is the tokens, both in the input and the output. How much it would be.
I think I didn't get you. I missed you maybe.
Yeah. So here it gives you. Yeah, probably I'll check in then, because here too they haven't given what is the input and output maximum tokens. They have just the max output token.
Yeah, Rakshith is saying max input token limit for PaLM 2 is 8 KB.
It's a number 8K you were telling?
Yeah, 8196. So 8 kilobytes. So 4K was GPT, and this is PaLM 2 seems to be 8K.
Double, yeah.
Okay.
Gouthaman, you can speak a little louder. You're a little low.
Yeah, sure. So I did this. So as I said, I'm just trying to see how this different tax regimes compare. So what is the standard detection I asked? So it's telling like for the new tax regime, there's a standard detection. There's the old tax regime, there's the standard detection.
Gouthaman, does this mean that
standard,
chain of
detection.
thought, or Are you saying it is able to do reasoning, which we sometimes refer to as chain of thought or tree of thought?
It can do a chain of thought, but here it's just it works as a
See, to compare two text regime, you do need reasoning or logical capability. So is PaLM 2 having that out of the box? Because in GPT, we have to implement chain of thought prompt engineering. But here in PaLM, are you saying it is out of the box?
no, this particular code is just auto completion. So it should have seen in somewhere in its data training what is the difference between the old and new tax regime in India. So that's how it's.
Okay, so it is
No,
using
Abhishek,
something like RAG. It is similar to RAG, huh?
no, Gautam, I think when you're saying reasoning, it's not not reasoning. It would be like mathematical reasoning. No? I mean, that's what he was mentioning.
Yeah, the reasoning part, I think it's little bad. I'll just show the next code. So what I have asked is, I have asked assume a person, and I have asked which tax plan will be beneficial. It's either old or the new tax regime. So what it tells us, it's the old tax regime. It's more beneficial. So here, if you see the old without any exemptions or anything. So this is 15% and this is 30%, the old tax regime. And
interesting. I mean, GPT 3.5 cannot do this. That I know. So if PaLM 2 is doing it, it is definitely better reasoning than GPT 3.5.
Yeah. It's a little wrong. So that's the thing, because it's telling that it will take the 10% for the 2.3, 20% for the 5 lakhs, and 30% for the 10 lakhs, which it doesn't calculate correctly. If you see, because 20.
And Gouthaman, is it able to read that tables and charts and graphs and images in input document? Is it able to read tables, charts, and graphs? It's reading that table clearly, as you are saying.
Yes. That text. Be it even from the table, it just extracts the text. It doesn't have that spatial knowledge.
Got it. Understood.
And it's telling it, but the reasoning seems to be little wrong. So this is for the thing. And HRA I have asked, it's both the regimes, and it tells that the definition of HRA is different in both the old regime and the new regime. So this is for the auto completion. So the next part that I'll be going to is the retrieval augmentation. So why do we need a retrieval augmentation is like sometimes what it tells is like auto completion mode, it will tell the answer that seem like that it's a completely correct answer, but it just tries to auto complete. So the answer would be completely wrong, and this poses a challenge. This is the data it's been trained on. So if we need some question and answering in our own internal data, again, this is some technique that wouldn't be helpful. So that is the primary reason why we will be using retrieval augmented technique, where what we do is we have this retrieval model, which is the PaLM 2 model, and pre-trained model, pre-trained LLM, which is the PaLM 2 model, and the retrieval, what it does is we create a knowledge base. So this knowledge base is what is a set of vector with the help of our PDF records. So we have a massive data set, which will be the so this is the massive data set that has been on which this PaLM 2 has been trained on. Have this retrieval model, which has this Chroma database being set up, and it will retrieve from this and answer our queries. So that is the retrieval augmented generation. I'll be using the LangChain to support this. So I'll be just showing how it has been done. And the databases, there are a lot of databases that. So the main databases that we could be using is Pinecone and Chroma. Pinecone is real time, and scalability is much more good than something like a Chroma. This open source, and it has a community support. So basically, it's a very different. In this particular example, we are taking Pinecone as the database with which we are making this question and answering. So I'll be showing how it is being done. The first thing is we'll be importing the libraries, LangChain, Pinecone client, PyPDF. And the LangChain. So LangChain, what are the different things that we need? We'll be importing that. We are importing the Pinecone, we are importing OS and sys. And so we are getting a directory called PDFs, and we are loading all the different models. For example, here PDFs that explains about the tax rates and everything. So we are using that as the PDFs, and we are importing it. And once we have imported it, we'll be using this recursive character text splitter. So we'll be using this chunks of this is 500, and we just need to have an overlap for a better answering system. So that overlap we'll be having as 20. So once we have created this text chunks from this PDF, it amounts to 225. So we have created this 225. What we'll be doing is we'll be creating a Google API key. So this Google API key, as I said, from MakerSuite, we will be able to get it. So once we give that API key, we will be having this embeddings. We need to be initializing this embeddings, and then we'll also need to be setting up the Pinecone data, having the environmental and the key, and we'll be initializing this Pinecone. And then what we'll be doing is we'll be searching from this Pinecone for the given question, what is the most similar answer. So this we will be able to find it with cosine similarity. That particular record. So for example, here we are asking the query, what is the new tax regime? So for that, it's finding the first 3 records and giving out answers. So here you can see that about a new tax regime, there is a things to be very similar. So it gives it out. So we are initializing the Google Form with a temperature to be 0.1, and we are using this retrieval QA. So this retrieval QA, we are telling use the retriever, and then LLM as the form 2. Prompt template, I'll explain it at the last. So here we are asking what is the difference between old and new tax regimes, and we are making a query, and it is explaining how the two are different. And we are asking like what is the different tax slabs in new tax regime. So here it's much clearer. For example, 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs, it's 5%. 6 to 9, it's 10. 9 to 12, it's 15. It gives a much more correct answer. If we increase the output sequence length, we will get the complete answer in this particular case. What is the standard detection, both new and old tax regimes? We are getting the answers. And what are the different exemptions that is being allowed in old tax regimes? We are asking. It's telling like house rent allowance is something that it's telling it's having this entertainment allowance. So it's telling about what are the exemptions. And again, whether a person earns a 12 LPA, which tax plan will be beneficial, old or new tax regime, and it's telling in new tax regime. And we can also make it as a chain of command where we are just giving the input, and it goes on a loop, and we ask the question, answer. So in this way, we can make it as a loop chatbot. Another thing is the prompt templates. So prompt templates, what it will do is we create a prompt template where we test what is the question and what is the and how to answer it. And once we give it and the prompt template we have, we can use this prompt template with chain type box and specify it here, so that we can use even with the retrieval QA to make our answering a lot better. So this is about the question and answering with the PDF extraction.
Nice. So you have demonstrated sentence completion as well as a RAG algorithm on PDFs, huh?
Yeah.
So in our Imagine GPT product, we are using RAG with OpenSearch vector database in AWS, as well as GPT, with the RAG semantic search context. But we are moving to VB8 vector DB now in our product because OpenSearch costs a lot, and we'll continue to use RAG with GPT. But we'll also be introducing a Llama 2, a private cloud option or private cloud LLM in Imagine GPT, because many customers are asking for a private cloud capability. Now, in case of PaLM 2, Gouthaman or Rakshith, I'm not calling any API, right? So PaLM 2 is an open source LLM?
No. We do call it API.
Which API are you calling? Where you're sending data to Google, which API are you calling?
So this we have this Google Maker suite. So we need to be requesting API from them, the PaLM API.
So there is no way to do this privately in our private cloud, huh?
No. It's not open source like Llama.
Got it. So both OpenAI and Google are controlling the turf and want us to send data to them. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why Llama 2 is going viral, because that's really one of the most popular open source models, which we can do it privately. Okay, good stuff. Gouthaman, what else?
Yeah, these are the codes.
So nice demos. Audience, any questions?
Yeah. How many parameter model are you running privately, Vivek?
We are running the 7B. We are calling GPT 3.5 for our Imagine GPT product. For Llama 2, we were running the 7B model.
Okay.
We still need to go to the 40B or the new, I think, 180B from Falcon. So those are coming up, but so far mostly 7B with 4K chunk context.
Okay. And what are the GPU machines you are running on?
It's running fine on CPU actually on AWS EC2 instance.
Oh.
But really, the Llama 2 was running on CPU. The GPT is anyway an API call, so it doesn't matter.
So it is not quantized, or like you can run regular 7 billion model on CPU?
For the Llama 2, we didn't have to quantize it. It was running fine on CPU. In fact, for our client Freedom GPT, we were able to create a downloadable Llama 2 chatbot, which downloads to your Mac or PC and runs entirely locally on a basic Intel CPU machine, not even GPU. So a lot of innovation remains in our product Imagine GPT stack, and we'll have to resort to quantization, sharding, optimization, try the 40B model, 180B models. So the work is just beginning. We have a long journey to tune our LLM application. Any questions for Gouthaman? Very nice project demonstrations. Two projects Gouthaman demonstrated: an auto completion capability with PaLM2 API, and also a PDF extraction PDF RAG algorithm. Clearly, PaLM2 has better reasoning capabilities than GPT 3.5, but I still have to compare it with GPT 4. I don't know how it compares on reasoning capability. Gouthaman or Rakshith, what else for today?
From my side, that's all.
So somebody asking for notebook, Gouthaman, that's your decision. If you want to share your notebooks, you can send the Google Drive link or Colab link right here.
I'll share my link.
Yeah. You all can the contact Global AI Lab group also. If you're not a member of our AI Lab group already, reach out to me and you can enroll as a member in our AI Lab community. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the session. Thanks a lot, Rakshith and Gouthaman. Fantastic presentation. And look forward to your next sessions already. Thank you, audience, for joining.
Thank
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.